Hello, good morning, everyone. You're welcome to another live session by Jobberman Youth Engagement. So today is a public holiday, and I guess many of us are enjoying our chicken and meat. So I think it's also good we discuss salary negotiation strategies and tips so that you know how to get the right deals to make more money to enjoy your holidays better, right? So today's going to be an amazing session. And this is brought together by the Jobberman Youth Engagement Team. Sorry. Yeah, so this is brought together by the Jobberman Youth Engagement Team. So let's kickstart. We're having two amazing guests on the session today. But before we go into that, let me give you a brief about what Jobberman is and what the Youth Engagement Team is about. So Jobberman, as we always let you know, is Nigeria's #1 online recruitment platform connecting employers to job seekers. So Jobberman is that platform where you come to get jobs. Whatever job you are looking for, whatever field, even blue collar, we are getting to the point where we're going to start getting people in the blue collar space jobs. So that's what we do. And we've been doing this for the last 10 years. So sometime last year, we realized that there's a skills gap. Many employers are looking for skills that job seekers don't necessarily have. So we created a youth engagement team. And youth engagement team has the goal and mandate to upskill 5 million young people over the next 5 years. So we're going to upskill 5 million young people with the necessary skills they need to thrive in the workforce, right? So please stay with Jobberman. You would get all these opportunities. Also, at least 3 million of these 5 million would be placed in dignified work over the next 5 years. So certainly over the next 5 years, we are going to place 3 million people in dignified work through our soft skills training and through so many other avenues which we are going to employ. So that's what the Jobberman Youth Engagement Team is about. Today, we're having this session on negotiation skills, right? And it is in partnership with UReport Nigeria. So UReport is an organization. It's part of it's part of UNICEF and also GenU. So they are bringing this to young people all across Nigeria. UReport is a platform where you can learn about things that interest young people, where you can build skills and join a community of young people trying to make progress. Yes. So that's what UReport is about. Now, I'll take you to our guest for today. We have two amazing people today, right? And we're going to do an introduction of the guest and then a panel session on salary negotiation. So the core of what we'll be doing today is salary negotiation. Perhaps you are looking at getting a job and you are thinking, how do I negotiate the right salary? How do I know how much I should be paid? How do I not get a bad deal? Also, we take questions. So probably you have questions from your previous experiences, from some experiences in the past. We'll take your questions and our panel will do justice to your question. So that's what we have for today. So let me just give you a brief about our audience, our panelists for today. So the first panelist, we have two panelists, is Aramide Way. Aramide Way is a recruitment manager at PZ. She is a dynamic headhunter who has been involved in talent acquisition for the last 7 years. So she has amazing experience with getting talent, with recruiting people, with working with young people, with working with employees and employers. So she is going to do justice to all our questions on salary negotiation and all around that. She's also a volunteer with Slum to School. And she does a lot of work around project management, teamwork, strategy and development, team management, and she's very efficient. So she's our first panelist for today. And our second panelist for today is Salma Muhammed. Salma Muhammed is a data analyst with UReport Nigeria. She pays attention to trends and insights. She has supported evidence-based decision making through data analysis, so she can speak from a perspective of data and experience. She's also known to be passionate about youth engagement and leveraging data to improve social impact. So she's going to come to give us, from my experience of working with data and working with young people, how young people can actually leverage negotiation and salary discussions Yes, so that's what we're going to be doing today. Yeah, Aramide, good morning, good afternoon. Good afternoon this afternoon. Oh, I can't hear you. Okay. Okay, I can't. Okay, I think I can see. Can I hear you now? Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Seems like can you hear me now? Let's get okay. What of Salma? Can you hear me, Salma?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. So we should get to it. Olamide, can you hear me? Aramide, can you hear me? Okay, I know you can hear me because I can see you saying I can hear you, but I can't hear you. Trying to make sure this is okay. So are we good? No problem. Let's just get to start. So Salma, we can't see. So you need to adjust your camera a little bit so that we see you perfectly. I think you should the other side. Yes, a little more. A little more.
Is this okay?
A little more. You can just turn it to your. It's not the other side. Yes, more, more.
I think. Wow.
So the issue is not. The issue is just you just okay. Leave it and just move to the other side. Like you can leave the camera and just move. Yes, move to your right. I guess. No, the other side. Your left. Good. Yes, more. A hand. Yes, good.
All right.
A
So it's
hand. It's okay, but you're not looking straight into the camera. So we okay, but let's get it started. I think we can see you. Yeah, we can see you. Yeah, we can. This works. Yeah.
okay. All right.
So can Aramide hear us now? I mean, can we hear her now? She can hear us, but we can't hear her. Okay, no problem. Probably would find a way to sort that out, or from the back end, probably that will be sorted out. Or you may just check to be sure the problem is not from you. Okay, but okay. Um, let's kickstart. Let's kickstart. I'm sure we're going to have a very exciting conversation today. Now, first of all, we are here today to talk about salary negotiation, right? And I believe so many of us have. I mean, we all have experience with data, with salary, with working with young people. So the first thing is what is salary negotiation important first? Like, what do you think about salary negotiation? Is it necessary? Is it important? How often does it occur? So is it a conversation we should be looking at? That's what I think we should start from. Yeah. So, Sama, what would you want to say as regards?
Um. Yes, personally, I would say yes. It's a very important area you don't want to leave out while trying to apply for a job. I would speak from personal experience because you don't want to undersell yourself because you need a job, and you do not want to appear desperate because you need the job. So one of the first things I did was to ask people who were already in that
Hi.
field what the
Yeah, we
Can you
can
hear me
range.
hear
now?
Aramide now. Yeah, we can
Okay,
hear
great.
you. Thank you.
Sorry about
So
that.
one of the first things I did was to ask people who were in that job field what range it was that they were aiming, and I also made my research online to be sure that I wasn't underselling myself or appearing like whatever it is that was going to be paid. I was ready to accept it. So I think it's a very important area that shouldn't be left out while trying to apply for a job or even during job interviews.
Okay. So Aramide, you can also let us know. First of all, she has told us So she said, okay, good. I was about to say you should adjust a bit. So she's giving us an insight in terms of why it is necessary. Of course, you should not let look like you are over desperate and should not undersell yourself because it's important at the end of the day. So what's your perspective to salary negotiation? Is it important? How frequently does it come up? What should be our perspective to it? Yes.
Well, negotiations comes up all the time. It is highly necessary. You don't want to sell yourself. You want to get the best. So yes, it is highly necessary. Yeah.
Okay. Now, when is it necessary? Is it every recruitment that there will be a salary negotiation, or at what times is salary negotiation necessary? Aramide can go. Yeah.
Okay, so like my own perspective, really, I would always advise. So there are two kinds of what do we call it now? Potential employees. So you have the recent graduates, you just came out of school, or you do not have job experience, and then you have the experienced hires. So I would always advise the recent graduates, you do not have experience, you do not have a right to negotiate your salary.
Hmm. Okay.
Yes, because
Okay.
you're not coming in with experience. You're not coming in with technical skills. All you know is what you've been taught. So I don't think you should negotiate so hard, even if you even want to even say, okay, I want to earn this, but that negotiation is not for you. Experience
Okay.
I always definitely you're coming in with value, you're coming in with experience, you're coming in with skills. You already know how to do this job. The only thing I'm teaching you when you get into my company is how I run things in my company. So from the one, these people can work. So yes, these are the kind of people that yes should sit on the table and negotiate salaries. My
Okay.
opinion.
Good. Okay. Good. 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 Salma, what do you think?
Yes, I think Aramide is very correct because I remember when I just finished from school, I was willing to volunteer, and it got to a point I was willing to volunteer, but even for for that part, I had to go through an interview, and I was expecting the part where I would be asked if I was okay with the pay or not. But on getting home, I told my father, and he was like, "Oh no, nobody's going to ask you if you're okay with this amount or not because you're fresh out of school. It takes a number of years of experience for you to get to that part where, okay, when they see your CV, they know this person has worked for a certain period of years, and this is the point where you get to ask if this pay is what's your years of experience." So I think she's very, very correct. She's in the HR, of course, so she's correct.
Okay, okay, good, good, good. So now, so there are many perspectives and many approaches to salary negotiation, right? So we've established that at the beginning, your negotiation strengths may not be so much because you don't have so much experience. But now there are different ways to it. So what would you say are the strategies or different ways to negotiate salary? This is still a foundational statement in terms of what are the different strategies, how are the different ways people negotiate, right? So what would you say are the different strategies for salary negotiation generally?
This question is for who?
Yeah, yeah, you can go
Okay.
for Aramide, you can go. Salma can go. Yeah.
Okay. So strategies is not one size fits all, but yeah, these are things you can also imbibe while trying to negotiate. So I would say, for one, you should have leverage. So this is speaking to experienced hires. You
Okay.
know, so you're coming with the, oh, yes, I have the experience, I have the skills. If you're currently working in that company and you're probably negotiating for something higher, you're saying, oh, I am a good performer, I have over delivered time after time. These things show naturally. So it's not like you're cooking up, but you should have facts. You should be sure that yes, you're an overperformer. Or because of me, profitability increased. I've been able to cut costs. So yes, have leverage, have something to show. You cannot just come and tell me, oh, I think I've been here for 5 years. Please increase my salary. Hell no, nobody's going to listen to that. But yes, show me what you've done. Show me reasons why I should. Yeah. So yeah, have leverage.
Okay, good. Cool. She said have leverage. Very key. So Salma, what are the negotiation strategies you think we should employ
Okay,
or young
so
people should?
I'll speak from experience because I'm not in the human resource department. So what for one, I would say if responsibilities have been increased, my workload, my job responsibilities has been increased, I'll definitely request for more pay. If I'm required to do additional say task that is outside of what I've been employed to do, I would ask. And I wouldn't say number of years if you're redundant or doing the same thing, but I would one of the strategies I would list would be if responsibilities have been added.
Okay, cool. So she says that's a strategy. When you have more responsibilities, you may want to request for more pay. Good. So now, um, this conversation should not, I don't think should be limited to just salary negotiation, because one thing I think young people need to understand is it's not only salary you can negotiate, right? In fact, I have a perspective that in life you can negotiate almost anything. Like you
True.
can negotiate almost anything, right? And I think sometimes we just see negotiation when it comes to salary, that's in the workspace. Even in life generally, when people make requests from you, I believe you can negotiate those requests, right? So what are the other things you think employees or young people can negotiate in the workspace outside core salary? So what are the other things people can leverage on for negotiation?
Okay, there are quite a number of things. So, but then it's still dependent on what you want at that moment. So, there's some young graduates now, it's been hard getting a job or the kind of job you want. And then you get probably a big company and probably like a Sahara or Ando, and it's okay, come work for us, but we wouldn't pay you. So you can also use that. Okay, experience. I know I'm going to get experience. I'm coming to learn, so I don't have to get paid. So that is something you can also what's it called now? That's what one of it you can use. For experienced hires, I've had conversations with a couple of people who tell you, okay, they'll tell you, oh, I'm currently on 10 million naira. And I'm like, oh, it's actually 10 million naira that's the budget for this role. I'm like, okay, no problem. I don't mind, earning that same amount. What else can we talk about? So you hear them say, okay, I want to, further my education. I need to pay half of my tuition, you know, even if you don't increase my salary. That's one. For some people, it's probably healthcare. Um, the cover, oh, it covers my family. I can actually even go abroad for some surgery. So it depends on you, what you really need at that point. So there's
Okay.
also maybe more vacation time. I want to be able to spend time with my family for this amount of time. Just quite a couple of more other things, but yeah, it's just a few.
Okay, cool. So she says you can leverage on other things based on your need. For example, she's talked about more time, talked about probably education, training in terms of fees, also talked about more time. Then you said one more thing,
Um,
vacation,
Healthcare,
health,
no, what it
healthcare,
covers.
okay, healthcare
Yeah.
and training. Good, those three. Yeah, cool. Salma, any more things you want to add?
Yes, I would say work hours and flexibility
Okay.
when it comes to physical
True.
presence. Like we're in an era where we're unlearning and relearning new things, and
Yeah.
for the past few months now, almost everyone has had to work remotely. So I would say, as a young person who is trying to get into a certain role, negotiate your work hours, what period you want to work, where if within the week you would like to work from home, if your job does not require your physical presence. So I think those are things that should be negotiated.
Okay, great. So you've added work hours, flexible work, that's I guess flexible work. Okay, good. Cool. Now I know we've talked a little bit about this around this earlier, but now let's say someone is on the job, like you're on a particular job, right? And you want to negotiate for a raise. I'll start from Salma. What are the things to consider first, and how should people go about that? So this is strictly for people who are already on a job and they're looking for a raise. So what are the things to consider and how people go about it?
Okay. I would okay. I don't know for other people, but for some certain jobs, I know there are contracts that are raised, or maybe terms of reference on what you're working on. So I'd first of all go check my appointment terms. Does it require? Does the period I've worked for, does it require that I request for a raise? If yes, then I would go ahead. But if the period I've worked for doesn't state in my appointment terms that, okay, I can request for a raise right now, I'll probably, like I said earlier, if I see that the workload is becoming much, or I think I need some help, or I'm willing to work extra hours, but I need a pay, yes, I'll do that.
Okay, great. Now, do you want to add some things, Aramide?
Well, so I can also add the fact that it's been a couple of years. Yeah, we've been working. No raise so far. I am due for one. So yes, that's it.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
how do you handle in terms of raise? Let me take this question further. How do you handle what level of raise? How much raise? So, if you are looking at a particular amount of raise and you're probably offered something, but you think no, you should be offered more than that. How do you handle that?
So there's no okay. So the thing is, for you to have gotten a certain raise, it didn't just come from nowhere. There's
Yes.
a structure in place. So there's a percentage the company has probably, fixed that, when we're going to give a raise is this certain percentage.
Okay.
So for you to have been given that is probably what the company can offer or can give you at the
Okay.
moment. So you're trying to negotiate higher. It's probably because maybe I think the only people that can do that is probably a key talent that the company knows they're about to lose. That probably they can easily get snatched by another company, and yes, maybe that will work. But I just think for you to get a certain raise is based on the structure and
Okay.
yeah, structure of what is on ground.
Okay, great. Now, what metrics, and this goes to both Salma and Aramde, what metrics do you think are usually considered? So people who are looking at these things will know, oh, these are the metrics I should pay attention to. Is it solely what are the metrics considered generally for negotiations and raise? So specifically, what are the things I should look at when I want to talk about either raise or even a negotiation conversation? What are the metrics and the things
Sorry if I get a question clearly. Metrics for you to look at you as the employee.
Yes.
Are you there?
Yeah, so
Okay.
so it's
For
on
you as
two
the
ways, right?
employee.
One, yes. So you as the employee, you are trying to negotiate a salary raise. What are the
Yeah.
metrics you should look at? How should you look at it? Also, from the employer side, um, is this person is either requesting for a salary raise or you are considering a salary raise for this person? How do you go about deciding or negotiating that on both ends? So
Okay,
I
so
think you can take it from the employer's end, while Aramide takes it from the job seeker's end.
Okay. Okay, from the employer's side, maybe performance evaluation. Has this person been can you hear me?
Actually, I actually wanted to say Aramide will take from the employer's
I
end,
guess
sorry. Then you
Oh,
take from the job seeker's end. Yes, sorry.
okay. So
Okay.
from the job seekers end, I would say my work inputs, even if
Okay.
my terms of employment doesn't state a certain percentage or a certain period which I can request for a raise, I would consider my work inputs, and I would always always consider additional responsibilities.
Okay. Okay, great. Aramide.
okay, so for general candidates, because there are different kinds of rather say candidate employees, there are different kinds of employees as well. Generally, definitely appraisals. Appraisals which are probably held, depends on the company, it can be twice a year. So yes, appraisals, these scores are shown. If you're a salesperson, it makes it easy. You have a target. You don't meet your target, definitely you're not getting. You hit your target,
Okay.
Well, that's something. You go overboard, probably 200% over your
Over deliver.
target. Over deliver, that's the word. Now it's
Okay.
clear. So that's why these terms are even clear from the beginning. So yes, these are all other things we look at. Oh yes, appraisals
Okay.
always, show these things.
Okay. Then now, where's the documentation? I'm looking at the documentation side to it for discussions like this. Is there must there be a documentation side to it, or it's just something you can have like as a conversation, probably with your employer or things like that? Or do you think if it has to be documented, what is the reason for that?
Check. Okay, so documentation, yes, and yes.
And
Uh,
why?
because you have something to show when stories that touch enter it. That okay, you know what? I signed this. This is what you promised me. But when you're just saying, just having conversations, man, that's audio. I can tell you, I can't
Okay.
remember saying it. I can tell you the company did not approve it. I know I am very right because nothing showing it. So documentation,
Hmm.
yes, yes, yes.
Cool, cool. So I think our listeners should take note of that documentation. Now, how do you handle when? So initially we talked about people want a particular raise and they don't get. So for employees, how do you handle it? When you believe strongly that you should get a raise and you don't get, or you should have your negotiation, you should be paid better and it's not going the way you want it. So how should people handle this?
Do you want me to go first or?
Yes,
Yeah.
go first, please.
Okay. It's difficult. Yes, it's difficult. Rejection is difficult on all areas. So I would, if from the job seeker or from someone who is already on the job and wants a raise but didn't get it, I would ask what period or what period do you think I can come back for this? When can I reapply for a raise? And what criteria do you want me to look at? Am I under delivering? Am I is my um, job output, is it low? Do you want me to increase it? What do you think I'm doing wrong? As against just going home with, should I use the Nigerian term like, oh, this person is bad belly, they don't want me to get a raise. So, what do you think I'm doing wrong that I should improve on? And when do you think I can come back for a raise? It's difficult,
Okay,
but it's necessary. You know what to do right to come back for it. Because if you keep coming back and you're not doing the right things, you keep getting a rejection.
okay, cool. She says you take the conversation further, right? You don't leave it there, so you know when you should come back and probably what you need to do to come back. Okay, so Aramide, you want to add something to that?
Yes. So while even having that conversation, you need to be very clear. You need to be concise. You need to be tactful. You need to, you don't go there with gra and say, okay, this is how it's supposed to be, and you did this for A. Why am I struggling? You need to bring it to a personal level. Talk to these people very politely, just get them to that level that they are able to listen and relate with you and connect. So there's a way of also passing this conversation, this message across. Yeah.
Okay. Now, let me take it back to the interview level, right?
Okay.
Two ways. Is it every time there's a salary negotiation that the employer is ready to employ you? For example, you go for an interview. Is it every interview that salary is discussed, or when you get to the salary level conversation, then okay, you are almost getting this job or you have gotten this job? How does it go? Is it that there's a separate conversation for salary negotiation, or is part of the interview itself?
Okay. So for the different companies and different ways they handle it, most times salaries are always the first things before the interviews. So because I'm sure you would have seen a lot of job ads that they even put the salary from the beginning. So if you don't like it, please
Okay.
don't apply, because it's a very touchy,
Okay.
touchy subject that people don't want to, waste your time, and then at the end you're now saying no. So it's usually most of the time, not fully, but usually the first conversation. so we don't waste each other's time while we start the process. It's going to be a long process. But are you okay with our budget? Yes. Sometimes,
Okay.
or maybe structured companies that they can pay anything. They do not mind. Start interviews, and by the end of the interview, before this is usually maybe before medicals or after medicals. It depends. It just always close, whichever one, whichever company. So yes, that salary comes again. But those are for companies that I know I can afford you. There's nothing you want I can pay. Those
Hmm.
companies, yeah.
Okay. So, Salma, what's your experience when the salary conversation comes in? Is usually at what level, and what should be the perception to that salary conversation? Like that, what level of the recruitment process?
Okay, from experience, it didn't come during the early stage. It was I'd accepted the offer already, and they presented me with the pay for the role, and I was like, okay, so this is cool, but can I request for more? And of course, I got a no because it was fixed from their end. But it didn't come at the early stage. It was after I'd accepted the offer, because they believe you would have done your research to know what that level or that position pays whoever will be occupying it. Yeah. Can you
Hi. I think it just, yeah, it's network.
hear me?
Mm,
I think his work is off or something.
yeah. So would you have preferred if they had talked about the salary before the whole process?
It wouldn't have made. Yes, I would have preferred if they'd spoken to me about the salary before the whole process, but it wouldn't have made any difference because, just like you said earlier, for some organizations they already have like a fixed amount. So if you don't like it, don't apply. If you like it, apply. For this one, they didn't state the fixed amount, but as a young person, they expect you to do your research or maybe talk to people who must have occupied such positions before, so you know what exactly it is that they are paying for that role. So yes, I made my findings, and it wasn't too far fetched from what I was told. So when it got to that stage, and I was told, okay, so this is what you'd be paid, I was like, yes, it's cool, but I feel like, oh, I think that I deserve more. And they're like, okay, so for you to want to request for more, you must have worked with us for a certain period of time for you to be able to request for more.
Okay. And you left them.
No, no, I took it.
Oh, you took it. So nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Because
took it. No,
eventually it would always go, you would grow and then it would increase at some point.
yes,
Yeah.
because, I felt like this is a role I like, and I could grow on the job, and I can
Yeah.
always have opportunities to request for more when I feel like I've outgrown this level of pay.
And that's why a lot of people don't understand. So they just look at the money part immediately, like, no, I'm not
Yes,
taking it.
you don't look at the money part immediately, but
Or
a lot of job seekers do not understand that. They feel like, oh, this person wants to underpay me. For some organizations, yes, they might want to underpay you, but for some, you feel like, can I learn on this job? Can I get something new? Would I have opportunity? I think those are the first questions you should actually ask when given an opportunity to ask your questions during a job interview. Would I be given opportunities to grow or to request for a pay rise or something?
okay, there are some questions by the side. Let me see. Can you request salary increments when you fully know you're doing far better than your colleagues and the company performance isn't going well? So you've answered the question. For me, the company's performance isn't going well. So the company isn't making money right now.
So I'm back.
So please,
Uh,
welcome back.
apologies. I really do. I think so. What happened was that my internet went off on its own, and I didn't know. So I just had to what happened. Thank God I'm back. Okay, so I think you
So
were answering questions, right, from the
yeah,
audience.
we're reading out the questions. Yeah. So from Enuha Solomon. So it's the company you would, it's not just about, your other colleagues. The company is not doing well. So chill. I'm sure you know when the company starts making money. It's easy. It's
Okay,
easy.
so there's a question I wanted to ask. At the
Okay.
point of interview, you have been interviewed for a role. Is it okay to ask the interviewer what is being paid for that role presently, like, in the company? What is the offer for that role presently? Is it okay to ask?
No, it's not.
Okay, so
It's
it's
not.
basically your affair. You have no business how much the company pays.
No, it's not. But people
Yeah.
would still always ask, and I tell you, you get a no or you will get a response to that. No, it's
Mm,
not.
okay. Okay, that's
Please
that,
don't
that
do
that
it.
that I think people should take note of that. I just thought
Yeah.
it's good to ask because some people ask that question, right? And I
So
think it's
yeah.
just best to know. So
Okay.
how do people know what is expected? I guess the reason why people ask that question is because they want to know. I want to come into this role. How much is the person there being paid presently? Probably you don't know that person. So how should people know what to ask? Because they will or know the range to stay with.
Don't even ask until you're being asked that question.
No, no, no.
Until
So,
they
so when you're asked, so this is when you're asked, when you've gotten to the salary conversation,
okay.
how do you know what figure you should give? Do you give that figure based on what is being paid, what the company pays, or how do you know? Because
Okay.
people need
So yeah,
specifics, right? People need to have an idea.
okay. So there just depends ways to answer this kind of questions. One, you can ask that you don't even have to ask. You just say, I know you have a budget for this role. What you can ask, what is the budget? So most times you might get a response, and most times you won't. Because I know recruiters and hiring managers, they will throw the question back at you and say, "What do you want?"
Okay.
So
The farmer one. Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Finish,
okay,
please.
yeah, no, no. So really, you can ask for what the budget for the role is, but yeah, you might not get it.
Okay. So Salma, what's your experience with that question? Or what are the other ways people frame that question, and how do you think people should best go about getting those specific?
Okay, so I think I actually just learned something new from Aramide that I could share with you reporters. For one, I didn't know it was wrong to ask, but I've never asked because for every job interview I've been on, it has always been a situation where we get to a certain stage in the interview and then I'm told what is offered for that role. So I think another way, like I would always say, do your research. This company is already in existence. Do you have people you can talk to? Just do your research generally, even if it's not with that company, for that role you're applying for. What do you think other people are willing to pay for such a role? So you already have like an idea in your head what you should be expecting. Just like Aramide said, it's wrong to ask or it doesn't feel right to ask. Or when you make your research, you already have like an idea what you should be expecting. And if you feel you've been underpaid, just leave.
Okay.
Simple.
So okay, good. So now, how do you handle this situation where what is being offered? So this is what the company is offering, right? And for you, you feel you should be paid higher, but it's a job you're interested in. So how do you navigate that? Also, can you bring in salary reviews probably later? Like, can you have that discussion earlier that okay, for now, let's do this, but at so time can we? So how do you handle when um you are being offered something, right? And you feel no, but you don't want to turn it down. So what do you do then? Aramide and Sama.
So
Okay, I think your question actually aligns with what someone just asked here. He's saying where your job roles, I don't know if I'm correct, he's saying where your job roles are not specific or the tasks are not, what you're required to do when you resume are not being specific. So you're just offered anything or it's fixed already from the organization, but your job roles are not specific. Should you take it or not? Is that what you're asking?
Um,
Oh.
Yes, but not entirely. So let's say you have an idea. It may not be so set in stone, but you have an idea of what the role is about, right? And you think it's something you're interested in. However, you're not so comfortable with the pay. But it's a job you're interested in. What do you do?
I will take it as a job, as a if I was just graduating out of school and I need the experience, I would take it because in a few years to come, you would need that experience, whether the job was paying well or not. You would need it to earn more. So, as a job seeker, I would take it.
Okay, Aramide, what would you advise?
Okay, yes, same for job seeker. Please take it. You will definitely grow. Even if you're not what's it called now? Even if you do not get that pay at some point, you would move somewhere because you've learned, you've grown. For an experienced hire,
Sorry.
um, are you there? Okay,
Yeah,
so for
I'm
an
there. I'm there. I'm
experienced
there.
hire, you like the job, but you feel they could pay more and they're still not paying more. I would say, negotiate with other things. So,
Okay, good.
like I earlier mentioned.
Yeah. So for
Hey,
mid-career, okay. Sorry,
go on.
finish.
No,
For
go on.
mid-career professionals, because I was wanted to ask the question when you said they should take it. For mid-career professionals, what do you advise? Now, this is not entry-level job seekers, and they're in this same situation. What do they do?
This is for career changes.
Mid-career,
Oh, mid-career.
mid-career.
Okay,
Yes.
yes. So there's at some point in your career, there's something you're looking for. So
Okay.
it's still based on needs at that point. So
Okay.
if you're some people might probably just want to move because they want to change the environment, change industry. I want to go and learn something in this industry. I want to change because I don't like the HMO covered in my current company. So I feel if there's something else that you can sell to them that okay, do this, because definitely they're not going to increase that money. If they've
Okay.
told you that this is what I am going to pay, and you really want that job, try and look for something else that you need at that point, and put it out there that okay, since you can increase, can you do this for me? So it's based on your current need at that point, but a valid need, do
Okay. I think works.
yeah.
Okay, fine. Um, let me. Let's take audience questions. I may still ask one or two questions, but let's take questions from people in the audience so that we don't leave them out. I think I can see a few questions there. Hmm. Okay, good. Yes, good. And I noticed usually in job offers, there are usually sometimes there's usually the caveat that says and other things, other roles and responsibilities, right? Which is usually not defined. I think almost every role has that. So how do you
Yeah.
handle such things when you now realize that those other roles or responsibilities that was not defined may not be things you are totally comfortable with, or may do you understand, may not be what you expected. How do you
Yeah,
handle that? Yes.
I do that in terms of
In terms of, oh, okay, so
underpaid.
both in terms of pay. So you negotiated based on this is what I expected to be, I'm expected to be doing, right? Then let's say 2 months into the job, when you now understand the role fully, you see that those other things which was not well stated should have been stated because it's sort of some core of the job. How do
Yeah,
you handle that with respect to pay?
I'm sorry, you cannot because you had that letter in front of you, and you're supposed to be open to that other thing. You're supposed to open to anything. The minute you signed that paper, you knew what you were getting into. So
Okay.
yes, you were not sure what it was, but as long as you should be open to it.
Okay.
So you cannot do anything. I'm sorry, you
I
signed.
think I think Salma has a little update that she wants to add
Okay.
one or two things.
Yes, I think most times when we were eager to resume a job and we see other tasks or other roles as assigned, we don't we don't give it much thought at that period because we're excited we're getting that job or we're resuming. But midway into the job, you find out that oh, other tasks and other responsibilities is actually more than what has been stated in the terms of employment, and you're like, okay, so I'm not comfortable with this. You signed, you said you were comfortable with it, and there's nothing you can do. I think the only thing to do at that point would be to tender a resignation or to leave. But for you to have said, oh yes, I'm okay with that line that says other responsibilities or roles as assigned, I'm not sure there's anything you can do at that point because you've already agreed to such an arrangement.
Okay. Okay, good. Now, one final question, right? Which I think both of us should handle is when you get other offers, how should people approach it? So, for example, you have another offer that you feel maybe a little better, right? Or for different reasons. So other offers are wide. It may be you just like where this job is. So there can be different reasons. How do you but you, or let's say you still want to stay in this company, but you have another offer which you think is a little better. What do you do? And what's your experience? So I'm not going to start from Aramide here. I'm going to start from Salma. Then I'll come to Aramide. Yes.
If I owned an organization, I'm not sure I'll be flexible enough for you to work for me and work for somebody else, because that your attention would be divided. I'm not sure I'll get optimum the optimum input I want for my job. So it's one or one. Like you pick one and you leave one, or I don't know, but there's no two way about it. You have to focus on your current job, or you leave the current one and accept the new offer.
So what if you also like the current one? But the other people are offering yes. But
It
this,
now it now boils down to your I always refer back to your terms of employment, because that's where everything is stated. Are you violating a rule? Yes. If you are, you should stop. If you're not violating a rule, so maybe you should go ahead,
so
or your HR or employer and say, this is, I got a new offer and I'm willing to move, or I'm willing to share my work time. Are you comfortable with this? I think conversations that are open are always the best way to solve this.
okay, good. Aramide, very good.
Okay,
Aramide, yes.
so I would always advise never tell your current employer that you have a new offer. It just
Okay.
kills everything. It's even if you decide to stay, there's that, it's that very soon you might leave. So you're not we don't take it serious anymore. We feel like you're leaving anytime soon. So it kind of raises this, this trust just reduces. So even if you want your current job, but you want more, the best way you can handle is, okay, before it happens, try and have good rapport with these people, the line manager, with the HR person. Drop subtle hints from time to time. When you now have this offer, you know, just go to the HR person and say, I've been doing this and this. Like I said, the leverage part, I've been doing this and this. And um, industry standard for this role, based on my research, I see that this is what I'm supposed to be earning, but I'm not earning that. When do you think you can, have that conversation? But just say it's research, and then yes, don't tell them you have an offer. The only reason why you should tell them you have an offer is you're ready to go. You know
Okay.
that I am leaving. Never
Okay,
outside
cool.
the state.
I, I
Yeah.
I think that's an amazing question. That's an amazing answer. Thanks, Salma, also. Very amazing. So let's take one, two more questions from the audience before we call it a day. Um, one final question. Let me see. Think we have a number of questions. Let me. What's your take on HR requesting your good? What's your take on HR requesting your current pay? And I think this is a very key question because in some interviews, they want to know what you've been paid before. What if what you want to be paid is a lot different? Should you necessarily divulge what you were being paid before? How should people handle that question?
So, okay. Okay. There we go. This is a very tight one. Why? Because I'm a recruiter, and I always ask this question, and I always want an answer. So
Yes.
it's a tight one for me. But yeah, I'm trying to fix myself. Yeah. But yes, just being, human, being apart from just being a recruiter, I would say, answer that. Just tell them you're fine. If you're fine with, really going to be fine with whatever budget it is, say you're going to be fine with the budget. Or say, what, give a range. Don't give an exact figure. Okay, I earn between, so just make sure that your current salary is probably close to the list of the range you're about to share, and then what you're expecting is in the far end. So you're not lying. You're just telling them. You're even telling them
Yeah, just giving
this
a
is a
range.
range of what
Yes.
I am offering. I mean, rather, these are what I currently earn right now. Give that range
Okay.
and let them know. Just tell them it's somewhere around this. And then, and
Okay.
you know, while you're giving that range, tell them what you want immediately. So it makes it easy. Oh, I'm probably earning between 4 to 7 million. Now you're probably on 4 million. I'm earning between 4 to 7 million. And I would
Yeah.
want maybe a 9 million. Now she
Okay.
tells you, so you know, in between there is what they would offer you. So you know, saved yourself a lot. And just
Yeah.
shut up. Just say
Cool.
what you want immediately. So it just makes it easy.
Okay, good. I think that's a very smart approach. And which a recruiter has divulged for us. So we are grateful for giving us one of your top. Okay. Let's take more questions. I think any more questions, any final questions before we call it a day. But generally, what would be your advice for mid-career professionals and job seekers having issues with negotiating salaries or pay or things around that? What would be your final advice to them? Let's take Salma first. Then we take Aramide.
For you mean for mid-career changes?
Yes, mid-career and early career. Because I expect someone who has over 15 years as knows how to go about
Yeah.
his
So
job.
that's why I'll come in from the perspective of early career changes, because I deal with a lot of young people based on the platform I work for. I would always say, do not be afraid to ask the right questions. Ask the right questions when it's necessary. Ask the right questions at the early stage, because you do not want to rope yourself into something, or you don't want to rope yourself into responsibilities that you barely have time for your health or even mental well-being. So always do not be afraid to ask aside the obvious questions that are wrong to ask, but do not always be afraid to ask questions that would put you in the best position, because if you're not in the right frame of mind, you can't actually deliver anything.
Okay, good, very good, cool. I think she's talked about your right frame of mind, health, understanding the job before fully knowing how you take the offer. Now, Aramide, what are your final thoughts?
Do your research, ask questions, ask, it doesn't necessarily have to be in that particular company. Go to other, similar companies in that industry. Do your research. I know there's probably no, site that would give you the kind of answers right now. I know people just share average salaries, but yes, do your research, ask. Don't concentrate on the pay. Please, for new, okay, you mean for mid career level. Okay, yes.
Mid-career
So
and early
yeah,
career both.
okay, early career, please don't focus on the salary.
Okay.
Focus on what you focus on experience. Salary will come. Mid-career people, um, apart from doing your research, just try and be the best version of yourself. Be a performer. Once you are a performer, you're a key talent, all these things will come naturally. You wouldn't have to, chase for these things. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, cool, cool. I think we've had an amazing session today. Thanks a lot, Salma, for sharing your experience and insights around salary negotiation, how young people should go across it, how mid-career people should go about it. Also, Aramide, thanks a lot for sharing your experience and sharing your trade secrets. We are super grateful. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
All right.
It was an amazing session.
Same
Thank
here.
you.
Nice.
Yes. So I'll just go for that to share continue with the session, just talk about Jobberman and what we do. But thanks a lot for the session. Um, super amazing. Now, So that was a very amazing session talking about salary negotiation. I'm sure it's something so many people have questions around. So many people have asked me, oh, how do I go about this? What questions should I ask? How do I prepare for it? So I think this session has so many insights on that. So generally, this was brought to you by UReport. Aramide, Salma was from UReport, right? So that's so let's talk about what Jobberman does. I've talked about what Jobberman Youth Engagement does. So we'll keep sharing with you opportunities. Like I said earlier, we are trying to upskill 5 million people and place 3 million of them in dignified employment. So please sign up on Jobberman. It's your key way to avail yourself of these opportunities, of these job offers we'll be offering people over the next 5 years. www.jobberman.com/customer/sign up. That's the link. Sign up on Jobberman so that you will keep receiving these job offers and you don't miss the next offer you might be really interested in. Yes, so there are so many jobs on Jobberman platform, and I'll share a few of the ones there presently. So these are just a few. There are at least 10 times to 100 times more jobs than I'll be sharing. So just go to the Jobberman platform or download the Jobberman app and you will see all these job offers. There's Protein International. They are looking for over 350 full-time vacancies. There's Novatia Translations. If you can speak more than one language, then you can translate. That's a gig work. There is their Sevens Group. There is City Tutors. They are looking for exam private tutors. There's Pocket Farm in Abuja. There's Verify Me. They're looking for agents all across the country. So it's gig work. You can easily apply. There's Cornerstone. They're looking for virtual agents. There's a pandemic out there, but you can still work from home. They're looking for virtual agents. Please apply. Right. So there are so many of these job offers. Just follow, sign up on Jobberman and avail yourself of these opportunities. Also, you can connect with us on our social media, on Jobberman on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, and you can send us an email, connect@jobberman.com. So go to our website, www.jobberman.com/youth engagement. Whatever is your question, would get to answer it. So our next session, right? Like I said earlier, we have these sessions virtually every week. So next week, we're going to be having Thriving in Adversity. In Adversity by Patricia Omokwu. She's a professional certified coach. So it's a Facebook live session by 3 p.m. on Tuesday next week. So please join in and learn how to thrive in odd times like we're in. Thanks a lot for coming to today's live session. I hope to see you guys next week. Thanks a lot.